And we've experienced beautiful weather across the tri-state pretty much the entire month. But Gunnar mentioned some snow flurries earlier returning to the tri-state.
It's giving me like PTSD from over the weekend.
I
can't do it again. And Gunnar, Storm Team 44 meteorologist Gunnar Consol is tracking those latest conditions. And Gunnar, really snow flurries on tap.
I know we are going to be dealing with a very chaotic next 3 days because we're going from near record warmth to thunderstorms and downpours to snow flurries. So you're going to want to buckle in. We're going to be dealing with springtime in the tri-state where we go through these highs and these lows. Right now, things are very comfortable. We're still seeing temperatures in the 60s, but how warm did it get during the heat of the day? Well, high temperatures today, we're near 70 degrees, and we're going to be dealing with those temperatures becoming a little bit more prominent. So those current temperatures of 60s are a far cry from the high temperature we saw today. Today's high temp of 71 degrees is the first 71 or 70 degree temperature of the year. It's also the first 70 degree temperature since November 16th, which was a whole 98 days ago. And this was about 16 days, so about 2 weeks and some change earlier than expected, with March 8th being the usual first 70 degree day of the year. Now here's the frequency of 70 degree days in each decade. So on average, they happen about 4% of the time in 1920s. We see a little bit of a quiet period in the 50s and 80s. But you can see that the frequency of 70 degrees in February has actually increased to about 5%. Now, I know this is a lot of data, and it's kind of hard to digest. But what this means is we basically went from seeing a 70-degree afternoon in February once about every 5 years to once or twice every other year. So we're starting to see a slight increase in how often we deal with 70-degree temperatures in February. I know a lot of people aren't complaining, but one thing we are going to be complaining about is how wet tomorrow is going to be, because we could be dealing with some showers as early as tonight. I would say more so the early morning tomorrow, so around 1, 2 a.m. And here's that future cast. So as we go from 9 p.m. tonight through the overnight, we're going to be dealing with maybe some drizzle or light rain through most of the early morning. But when that early morning commute starts up at 6 a.m., we're going to start to see some rain activity picking up towards the west. Still not dealing with too much rain. So we may be able to get through that whole morning commute. We may be able to settle into work tomorrow before we start to deal with some pretty heavy downpours, especially to the north at first. 12:30, your lunch hour going to be soaking in the north. And then a lot of that heavy rain activity shifts to out of the south around that evening commute around 4 and 5 p.m. Things are going to dry out by 7 tomorrow, which means that we'll have at least a dry overnight tomorrow. Now, here's how much rain we could be expecting. We're going to be dealing with some locations getting close to 2 inches plus. This yellow swath indicates 2 inches plus. Now, don't take it verbatim. We could see this batch of rain a little further north or a little further south, but you get the picture. We are looking at the potential for maybe some flooding concerns in areas that receive that 2 inches. Now, we have that potential for some morning flurries on Saturday. It's hard to believe it, but this is actually average weather for this time of the year. I'll let you know what to expect with that. Who could be seeing those flakes coming up?